見ましょう。詩篇10編。Okay. So last week we titled this psalm, Trusting God in Times of Trouble when the wicked seem to prosper. 先週、この詩篇学びは悪人が栄えるように見える困難な時に神様を信頼することのタイトルつけました。And so David, at the beginning of the psalm, he asks a question. He questions the success of the wicked. And he questions the seeming inactivity of God against the wicked. ダビデは最初、その詩篇10編に、神様は悪人に対してあまり裁かないから何もしてないのように見るから、神様に質問かけています。なぜとか、なぜ書いてありました。主よ、なぜあなたは遠く離れてお立ちなのですかと書いてありました。So why standest thou afar off? He begins with. And we looked at that last week about asking God why. We see that throughout the Bible. So today we're going to continue with verse 3 through 11 and look at David describing the wickedness of the wicked. ダビデは今日は10編3節から11節までにダビデは邪悪な者たちのことを描写していることを見ています。はい、じゃあ、10編3節少しずつこれを学びしたいと思います。So, Psalms 10, verse number 3. 悪者は己の心の欲望を誇り、どの欲な者は主を呪い、また侮る。悪者は傲慢を顔に表して神を尋ね求めない。その思いは神はいないの一言に尽きる。神の道はいつも高い。あなたの裁きは高くて彼の目に入らない。敵という敵を彼らは吹き飛ばす。Okay? Verse number 6. 彼は心の中で言う。私は許ることがなく、世々に渡って災いに遭わない。彼の口は呪いと欺きとしたげに満ち、彼の舌の裏には害賊と悪意がある。彼は村外れの町、伏せ場に座り、隠れたところで罪のない人を殺す。彼の目は不幸な人を狙っている。彼は茂みの中の 獅子のように。隠れ場で待ち伏せている。彼は悩む人を捕らえようと待ち伏せる。悩む人をその網にかけて捕らえてしまう。不幸な人は強いものによって砕かれ、うずくりまり倒れると書いてあります。また11節。彼らは心の中で言う。神は忘れている。顔を隠している。彼は決して見はしないのだと書いてあります。はい、じゃあ3節を最初の見ると、so looking at verse number 3, he begins it with for. For the wicked boasted. So he's given an explanation of what he just said. だからもう2節のことを説明し始まります。So David is explaining, as he starts in verse 3, to God why the wicked should receive the judgment of their actions. もうダビデはなぜ悪人がその悪い行いの裁きを受けるべきかを神様に説明して始めるだと思います。And, sometimes we might think this as well. Okay, God, look at what they're doing. Try to explain to God why he should intervene, why he should stop them, let them receive their judgment. And he says, let them get trapped in their own net kind of way that he says in verse number 2, their devices. だからやっぱり悪の方々が悪いことをしてるから、神様どうかこれを考えて見て、この人をやめさせてとか、もう裁くか、その人の悪さの結果を受けるようにとか、ダビデが神様に説明しています。話しています。So it's okay for us as well. And as we read through these, the actions of the wicked person and the pride that they have, it's okay for us to look at someone who is acting wickedly and doing foolishly, hurting other people, and in the same way, not complaining to God for what they did or doing, but letting God know, Lord, look what they're doing. And this is what David does. Of course, he's going to go back to God's judgment. But he is not complaining necessarily when he gives this list and talks about the wicked, what they do. And he's not necessarily judging them because he knows God will judge them. But it's this way David of handling this. Why? And in our lives, it can help us with this why as well. Why, God? Don't you do this? And then asking him to do it and describing it. So, もうそれ3節からまたダビデは邪悪なプライドがあることをなぜどのようにプライドを持つのかとかいろいろ説明しています。So David begins explaining why or in what way the wicked is proud, as he says in verse number 2. So the verse 2 is real key to the next verses all the way to verse 11. The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor, he says in verse 2. Let them be taken the devices that they have imagined. For the wicked boasteth. And so he's going to describe first the pride, different ways that they're proud, that they have pride. And then he's going to describe different ways that they have persecuted the poor or the afflicted, as we talked about last week. Their actions that they take against others. だから私たち学ぶは、やっぱりダビデ、最初にどうやって起こることあるのか、起こるの道、どんな道であるのかを説明して、次には他の人に、貧しい人に対してとか、 いろんな人に対してが、やっぱり邪悪なものがどのように行うとか、それも説明しています。So, here, let's go through this explanation. First, the pride of the wicked. 最初、邪悪な怒り。The pride of the wicked is number one, is a selfish heart. 邪悪なものの怒りは、利己的な心であることです。Okay, so look at it again, verse number 3. 3節、もう一回読みましょう。10章3節。悪い者は、己の心の欲望を誇り。欲望と書いてあります。So, desire, he's talking about. Selfish desires, right? His own desires. Putting his own selfish heart before anybody else's. Thinking, I'm going to do what I want to do. What I want is more important than what somebody else's want. This is what pride looks like, a selfish heart. もうそれは、怒りはもちろん、自己中心の心、利己的な心を持つことです。And we've all had times when we've had prideful hearts, right? Selfish heart, and that, a child automatically when they're just real little. Nobody has to teach them. If I hold a toy and somebody else grabs that toy out of my hand, nobody has to teach them how to get angry and upset at that. Because they got a proud heart, a selfish heart. I want that. That's mine. Give that to me. Right? 子供たち、特にもう誰が教えてなくても、他の子供が自分のおもちゃを取られると、もうどうやって、それは怒りになって、方法とかいろいろ知らなくても、もう分かっている。その自己中心の心あります。We have to guard from our hearts being selfish, right? Don't we? In our life, the desires that we have, God given us natural desires, but of course, as sinful people, we have wicked desires as well. We have things that we can covet, as the verse talks about. Covetousness not necessarily preached as much these days, it seems like, especially in America, but coveting is one of the 10 commandments. もう私たち持ってないのことをよく罪を起こしてよく願っているといけないのことですね。なぜかというと、やっぱり神様命令されます。10回の中で神様命令しましたでしょ。だから私たち満足を持つはすごい大事です。So having contentment, right? Satisfaction. Dalton's got a real nice pair of shoes, Brother White. Got a nice pair of shoes. I wish I had a pair of shoes like that. 何か、White 先生の靴は素敵な靴で、私が本当にもうそれを持ってた。いいかな、本当に願っていると、満足ではないだと、罪なのです。怒りのことです。Okay? If I have this strong desire, I'm coveting what somebody else has. That's pride. God gave me what I have. Saying, God, you're not good enough for me. I deserve more than that. It's putting myself above you. Right? Selfish heart. And we have to guard about pride all the time in our life. Number 2, the pride of the wicked is to encourage coveting. 邪悪なものの怒りは貪欲さを助長することです。Say it again in that same verse. Blesseth the covetous. The wicked person will bless the covetous whom the Lord will forth. 3節に、毒欲なものは主の呪い、また侮ると書いてあります。でも、ここには 邪悪の者は、その人は、いいの人です。よくそうするように。だから自分に対してだけじゃなくて、他の人に何か、その人、長いのことを聞く。それいいですよ。もっと長うように。他の人を指すと良くないですね。だから、クレイシマの仕事。例えば、クレイシマの仕事の周りの方、クレイシマの子供を見て、これもっと新しい車あれば、それちょっと古くになってて、あの車見てたからすごい素敵でしょ。その人のような車、もっと方がいいです。それ願って、自分は足りないと言って、そういうふうに他の人に私たち満足しないように、他の人もこれはいいですよ。欲しくて、それを、悪いのことになるんですけど、私たちそのことにも気をつけるんです。しないと、okay, someone wants to around Claire, her jobs, say your car's worthless. You gotta get a better car. Look at these other cars. It's okay. You can have an awesome car like this. It doesn't matter if you can afford it or not. You better get a good car like this. And just trying to talk them up. And that's what advertisement does today, doesn't it? Encourages us to be selfish. They just says, have it your way, Burger King says. Burger King の会社はアドバタイズメントを使って自分のようにどうやって翻訳しようか。自分のように好きなようにしていつも言うのかな。自己中心にいろいろ歌もあるし、それは世の敵の考えです。それも本当に聖書の中にも何回も見えますけど、It's not okay to just have it your way or want whatever you want, just to do whatever you want. But the wicked person is just, it's okay, go ahead. You want to do that? Go for it. Just do, live it up. Have a great time. Don't worry about tomorrow. You're gonna die. すごい好きにして、もう明日死ぬかもしれないですから、そういうふうに人間の考えですけど、プライドです。It's okay not to be happy. It's okay to be happy. Just make yourself happy. Get more and more and more. Get a better car. Want a better life. Get a better wife, a better boss, a better house, whatever. It's okay. No, it's not. もっといいの車、もっといいの場所、いいの仕事、いいの生活、もっといいの女性とか、奥さんとか、大丈夫、欲しくても。でも大丈夫です。違う。その邪悪のものはそうやって言いますから、それダメでよく言いました。やっぱり悪い道です。私たちも悪い道よく見つけて、私たちそれやれないように見ましょう。見つけましょう。Just as David here, he's looking at the wicked, what's going on in their life, and he's making sure because God, look at that. They need to stop what they're doing. Do something about it, Lord. But also in his own life, he's being careful. I don't want to do it that way. I don't know how many times my brothers, they got spanking after spanking after spanking. And they would come home or after school or something, my dad would sit them down, especially my brother Steve. もう何回私の家族の中に私のお父さんがもう上の長男、子供に、兄弟に何回ペンペンやってて、もうすごい、特にステファンの、もう私のちょっと甘めの私多いですけど、それ結構ひどいこと言ってて、結構ペンペンありますけど、でも私それ見ましたから、私あまり悪いことやりましたけど、でもよく習いました。これやれない方がいい。危ない道ですから、私たちも 考えましょう、人のこと。じゃあ、4番目。Okay, number 4 here. The pride of the wicked will not seek God or think of God. 邪悪な者の傲慢は神様を求めず、神様を思うこと、考えることもないです。それ4節と5節見ました。悪い者は傲慢を顔に表して神を尋ね求めない。その思いは神はいないの一言に尽きる答え。5節、彼の道はいつも栄え、あなたの裁きは、これ神様ですね。あなたの裁きは高くて、彼の目に入らない。書いてあります。God is not in his thoughts. He doesn't seek after God. No desire towards God. Rather not think of God. If we're doing wrong, especially if we've got pride in our life, we don't want to think about God. 誰が怒ると全然神様に対して考えたくないだと思います。でも神様にもちろん関係ないのように欲しいかもしれないです。もちろん聖書、いや、ちょっと読みたくない。お祈りこともしたくないかもしれないです。怒る人は、怒りがある人は、doesn't want to acknowledge God's existence, not depending, of course, on God, not submissive to God's will, has no thought of their life and their relationship with God. When we become proud, we put ourselves before God. もちろん私たちも傲慢になると、私たち神様よりも自分に大切にするですから、もちろんそれは良くないです。Ever had somebody that's all proud and gets upset? You know where most of the time when somebody's upset, there's some pride going on, right? Pride comes to that contention, the Bible says. 誰が怒ってると、やっぱり誰かがプライドがある。必ずその状態ですけど、でも怒ってる人がよく叫んで、もう声上がって出してすると、私たち答えて、じゃあお祈りしましょうと言うと、その人ももっと怒るかもしれないです。やっぱりお祈りこと全然考えてないですけど、oftentimes we get upset, we get angry. Someone says, oh, let's pray. That's not what they want to hear. No. And it goes against pride. Because when you pray, you have to be humble. You have to put aside yourself. You have to look to God. Think about what God is thinking about you. Pray about it. People don't want to pray. They've got pride. People want to forget about God. But we shouldn't. Every day be in prayer. Every day put ourselves humbly before Him and keep ourselves low. Keep pride, because pride can come up just like that in our lives. もう怒ってるはすごい簡単。時間かからない。だからすぐ怒られるからすぐに私たち顔かわせて、もうこれ顔の関係あります。それ次に3番。The pride of the wicked affects the appearance of their face. Look at verse number 4. 邪悪な者のプライドはその顔の外観に影響を与える。4節書いてあります。悪者は傲慢を顔に表して書いてあります。Okay, the countenance is going to be there. This word countenance also speaks of anger. Think of a child with that. They often show their emotions right on their outside, right? they just start fuming or whatever, they get proud, hard face, like you're not gonna tell me what to do, and they get stubborn or all this prideful thoughts going on. もう子供でもよく頑固だったら顔よくこうやってるでしょ。もう硬いの形に。そういうふうにもう私たち見えますよね。人が私たちのプライドも見えるだと思います。We got to keep a good testimony before others. The pride of the wicked. A lot of people that can see it on their face. Pride. Don't tell me what to do. Don't you try to talk to me about my sin. 多くの人がもう自分の悪い生活を分かってるんですけど、でも硬いの頭があって、この人、私の悪いこと絶対言わない。壁を作って、私、変わらない。私、本当に、他の人の言うこと入れない。いろいろ、そういうふうに人もいます。プライドです。もちろん神様はそのこと大嫌いです。だから私たち、そんな人を見て、やっぱり人を傷つけると、神様にお願いできます。もうダビデも言いました。ダビデもいろいろ傷がありました。他の人にも、これだから一節。なぜ神様トラブルの時に、本当に大変の時に働けないとか。だから私たちの生活にも同じことを言えます。So just like David here, he's going through difficulties. He sees people going through hard times. Why are you doing this, Lord? And he's crying out to God. Look at what they're doing. Look at how they're acting. And we can bring people to God in that same way. The pride of the wicked will not seek God. Their faces change. The pride of the wicked causes grief to others. Number 5. 邪悪な者の傲慢は他者を苦しませる。他の人を苦しませることです。So this was very interesting as I was reading this verse. First one of 5節に彼の道はいつも栄と書いてあります。So the Japanese word for here uses the word sakai, which means prosperous. The English word says grievous. And when I looked at that, I thought, what? What's going on? Why does the Japanese say prosperous? So, ここで、日本語の聖書は栄と書いてあります。いつも使う、栄。でもこれ、ヘブル語の意味、文字通りの意味見ると、本当に円形や螺旋状ににじれる、渦を巻くという意味があります。Okay, so the literal meaning of this word, as I look it up, means to twist or whirl in a circular or spinning manner. Okay? So I want to look at two other instances that David uses this same word. Psalms 29, and this will help give the Japanese a bit of understanding of this word. 詩篇29編。ダビデは同じ言葉が29編8節と9節にも書きました。So the same word in Psalms 29 verse 8 and 9. 詩篇29編8節と9節。主の声は荒野を揺すぶり。これ揺すぶりという言葉は 前に栄という言葉、ヘブルの中は同じ言葉です。Okay, so the same word here is used in verse 9, verse number 8, and also in verse number 9, that same word is used. 9節は、主の声は身近に海の苦しみをさせ、大森林を裸にすると書いてあります。だから海の苦しみという意味があります。だからなぜ栄に翻訳したかは本当にわからないんですけど、でもどうぞ日本語の聖書に書いてください。その栄はちょっと苦しみのような意味がありますけど、なぜ栄で翻訳したか全然わからないんですけど、でも29章8節と9節見ると、同じ言葉は、揺すぶりと海の苦しみと、に翻訳していました。あとどうぞ次に55編4節も読みましょう。Psalms 55 verse number 4. Psalms 55 verse 4. And this also uses the same word here for grievous. 詩編55編4節。私の心は内にもだえ、死の恐怖が私を襲っています。と書いてあります。心は内にもだえという意味です。データ身があるということですね。So writhing here in pain is the idea of this twisting and whirling, being grievous. So the idea is the wicked person's path that they walk on, it causes trouble. It causes hurt. It causes pain to others. And no matter what they're doing, they're putting themselves first. And no matter what trouble they cause, they're going to just vex others and be grievous to others with the way they're living. And it doesn't bother them. 怒るの人は他の人を傷つけてでも関係ない。考えくれないです。自分の態度、自分の行いは、人を傷つけてもその状態あるんです。だからダビデがいろいろ自由で神様どうか働いてください。邪悪な人のことを説明していました。So again, he's continuing. God, they're grieving other people. He's wicked. And he's using it as a way, as he's praying to God, Lord, do something about it. But of course, in our life, as we would apply this, we should be very careful not to grieve anyone, not to hurt anyone in our life. Be very sensitive about our actions, our attitude, and how that will affect people, and not just living about it just for ourselves. He says in verse 10, puffs at his enemies, scoffing at them. Lastly here, the pride of the wicked, number 6, is believing that his actions will not have any bad consequences. 邪悪な者の誇りは自分の行為が悪い結果をもたらすことはないと信じていること。全然結果は来ない。それ5節と6節。もう5節に読みましたから6節にしましょう。そこで私は言いました。私に鳩のように翼があったなら、そしたら飛び去って休むものを書いてあります。So he is living in a false reality. もう彼は偽りの 現実の中で生きているだと思います。もう今日の時代には、バーチャルリアリティ。なんていうvirtual reality. That doesn't come out very good. バーチャルリアリティっていう、もうこういう風に見て、もうゲームの中でもそれ全部他のことは考えなくて、その生活に入って、もう本当の生活じゃないですけど、でもある人が自分のプライドがあるから、本当に全部もう逆に簡単に見えないですね。So people that have pride often in their lives are living in this world of pride, putting themselves up. They often are blinded to the realities of life. Creates a world in his mind that is without God and is without consequences to his actions. And he thinks, oh, my life is fine. I can live how I want to. I can have pride. It's not hurting me. It's no problem at all. But he doesn't see the danger, and he does not see the judgment that God says is going to come. And he doesn't believe it's going to come. He says, I will not be moved. That's it. Nope, nobody's moving me. Nothing bother me. I'm never going to have adversity, the Bible says here. もういろいろ悪い別全然来ないです。私全然大丈夫です。だから変わらなくてもいいです。これ邪悪な人がそういうふうに思っています。私もある人、同じ考え方を見ていました。Same people like this. They just think, no, nothing's going to bad happen. I can just keep living the way I want to. And so David says, God, look, this is how they're living. This is how they're acting. God, do you not care? Your people are being hurt. The innocent are being hurt. And they are hurting them. They're living with pride, without God. And without God's judgment, we need to pray for these people. Oftentimes they might hurt us or people that we know, or we can go to God before it, and God will bring them judgment. And David ends this song that way. End of all pride is destruction. 箴言16章18節、怒りの後は必ず滅ぼすことです。それを最後に見ましょう。箴言16章18節。So last verse here, let's look at Proverbs 16:18 and we'll finish with this. Proverbs 16, verse 18. 箴言16章18節。高ぶりは破滅にささ立ち。必ずそうです。もう来週私たち悪の行いことを学び続けましょう。So we'll end here with this, but next week we'll check out the actions of the wicked. Maybe you know someone in your life who's very proud, who maybe has some of these things evident in their life. You can go to God and tell God, Lord, they've got pride. Maybe it's in your life. I hope that in our lives we would examine ourselves, make sure that there's no pride in our life. 私たちはもちろん自分の生活にこの邪悪なこと、怒りがあるのことを見るから、私たちの生活に全然そのことはないようによく確認しましょう。でも他の人を私たち見ると、その人も怒りがあると分かってると、その人のために祈りましょう。 また神様の前に他の人を傷つけていると、私たちにも傷つけていると、神様に求めましょう。その人求めないんですけど、私たちはそうしましょう。神様は必ず私たちを守りてくれる。お祈りすると、神様は必ずその人に罰を与えます。だから時々それ方がいいです。誰にも分かりましたから、それをお願いしています。So again, just as we looked at last week, many of the Psalms deal with what we call imprecatory prayers, where asking judgment. Lord, do something. They deserve this judgment. And God is graciously, holding off for a time, but David again saying, Lord, look at their wickedness. And sometimes that is needed in order for them to turn back to God, to recognize, because without God's intervention, the proud is not going to think of God, not in his thoughts whatsoever. And so let's pray in this way, and we'll continue this next week. じゃあそれで私たちお祈りしましょう。愛する天のお父様、本当に私たち少しでも私たち生活にこれがあれば私たちどうぞ許して、私絶対それは神様の全然喜びのないのものですから、私たちよく気をつけて、私たち他の人、これがことあれば私たちその人に神様と同じように歩みを持って、もちろん私たち忍耐持つように、人の気づくことに対して耐えできるように、いろいろ神様を助けるよという、本当に私たちできますようにお願いします。でも本当に人が神様をよく考えるように、また神様に信じるように、時々罰必要ですから、神様は私たちそのことにもお願いしています。どうか神様、これからお祈り時間ですから、私たちお祈りよく聞いてください。本当に私たち全部神様に任せできますようにお願いいたします。主イエス様のお名前によって祈ります。アーメン。